Hi everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Scott was coming through just fine, but I just want to make sure that my audio is working as well. Okay, fantastic. So we always begin the presentation with a disclaimer. Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor, and I please urge everyone here to understand that this webinar and the information you're going to see here is for educational and informational purposes only, quote unquote. Let's begin. This is going to be an amazing webinar, and it really is going to be about being at the right place at the right time, which is where you guys are right now. I'm really surprised that there should be like 300 people here, but you guys were the smart ones to make it because the things that I'm going to be showing you are going to blow you guys away. A couple of things. For those of you that don't know what Trade Ideas is about or what we do, we are an idea generation and investment discovery engine. So we watch all stocks on all time frames, and we try to figure out when is the best time for us to get in to capture the biggest percentage moves. And I don't mean that like in one day, although of course you can do that. I mean that just in terms of the big percentage moves. Okay, so let me this is going to be the thesis of this Trade of the Week webinar. So the first thing I want to do real quick is to talk to you about our performance. You know, we kind of put ourselves under the highest, strictest of standards. So just to give you an idea, the random walk theory and the efficient market hypothesis all state that you can't really time the market. And the funny thing is that they're neither right or wrong. It's really a question of what does that mean to time the market? Can I say today what the market will do tomorrow? No, nobody can because the future cannot be predicted. The future can be reacted to, okay? And that's where we come in because we watch everything in real time and keep statistical baselines on every single stock that's traded. It's like we have the criminal minds behavioral unit in the FBI profiling every single stock that's being traded like a serial killer, where we're trying to figure out when is it going to attack, or from our point of view, when is it going to go up a lot or down a lot. Okay, so this is how we perform against the S&P, and remember that we're doing something here that nobody says can be done because our AI engine is forced to do things that you don't have to do as investors. Our AI engine gets into stocks in the morning and gets out of them during the day and starts from scratch every day. We're crunching almost 1 million shares a day to find out, I mean, 1 million trades in the evening. In fact, that's what it's doing right now in our data center. 1 million trades to find out what are the odds that are going to give us the most money tomorrow. And our trade of the week is one of those algorithms that's really designed to kind of give everybody an introduction to trade ideas for free, where we believe we can pay for your subscription for our service through performance. So I'm going to be talking a lot in just a couple of minutes about some of the most amazing setups that are forming right now and the kind of opportunity that I think is at stake. But beforehand, again, just a quick introduction of the fact that, so here is our performance against the S&P, and the other thing that's really important about what we do is that we don't just do everything like, you know, we are not a bunch of nerds sitting there in a server room. We're people and we're a community as well. We have the most advanced technology, and I don't mind using those superlatives, but we also have a community of people that are utilizing this technology and helps one another get better and better. So again, with trade ideas, you really are never alone from the beginning to the end of your trade. Now, let's talk about what's really up, what's at stake. So a couple of things. Again, just so that everyone knows, I'm going to answer questions in the second half of the webinar. And really what's really cool about what this one is doing is that I'm going to show you how I'm really going to give you literally thousands of dollars today. Okay, and I know that sounds crazy, but you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is for subscribers too, by the way. So it's not just for the people who are here for the first time, and this isn't any kind of sales pitch. What we're going to be talking about here is making money today. Okay, I'm going to be all about capturing alpha. So let me minimize the presentation, and I'm going to jump right into um, what we're talking about. So first of all, a couple of things real quick. I believe personally, okay, so I've been trading actively since 1993 when dinosaurs ruled the earth. And in that time, I've got to see some incredible market movement. So I was one of the more active traders in the United States. I've traded over 1 billion shares in my trading lifetime. And I got to see the dot-com bubble go and fall for that matter, and the 9/11, the kind of destruction that can happen to a stock if you don't exit. But I've been watching this, and again, we have a business and we create this technology, and I believe firmly that we're about to see one of the biggest runs in stocks that we've ever seen. I'm going to quickly just say this so that you can understand kind of my thesis is very simple. We have basically negative interest rates, so it really makes no sense to keep cash, and that money is going to have to be put to use, and the stock market is the only place you can put it to use and you can get out. So there's been some huge volatility in the January and February that we've had of this year. Has been one of the worst and toughest trading environments ever because there's so much kind of nervousness that's happening. But forget about that nervousness because it doesn't change the fact that humanity is in the middle of a technological revolution. The things we are doing right now with technology is literally like to compare what's happening now to the dot-com bubble is like comparing a rock to a thoroughbred horse. The things that are happening now are real, and there's some potentially life-altering implications for all of us. So let's talk about alpha. Alpha is being able to beat the market, and the trade ideas trade of the week that our algorithm gave everyone was F-sell. And we pointed that out, I believe, was Monday. Let's see, let me look at the little icons. I'm going to blow this up just a little bit better so I can see it. There we go. So today is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So right around 590. Okay, it pulled back yesterday and continues to break out today. This is what we are looking for, and what I did was here is I said, okay, so if you thought that you missed fuel cell because of whatever, maybe you didn't get the trade of the week, or maybe you're still in it, which again I think is completely fine. If you are, you're up. But there's another price point right here which I highlighted and created a limit alert for at 610. So when fuel cell crosses 610, I'm going to be looking to add more because the movement looks like it's going to go even further. In general, so now I'm going to kind of go from the forest to the trees and back again. So why does our artificial intelligence engine like this fuel cell pattern? Well, the answer is this. So look, in 2015 when the market was fuel cell ran all the way up to 12. And then, of course, when the market started to sell off, it followed the overall market. But it's been consolidating here for now for roughly 3 months, and has now started to pick up another leg. And the idea that we have here is, what if we actually turn a little bit bullish? Okay, you've got the potential to go from 6 to 15. This was only in June of last year. 15 to 6. That is some serious alpha. And what you're seeing here on this line is a footprint. That's what if you were like a scout, or a hunter looking for prey, you're looking for footprints to find where's your prey hiding, and here's where it's hiding. So this is what a pattern looks like that has statistical validity, and we have so many of these to show you. And here's how I'm going to give you guys thousands of dollars. So I'm going to go through and point out all sorts of different setups that I think are the setups that are setting up to be next trades of the week. I'm going to create limit alerts on all of them, and then for everybody who is, so, and I'll just reiterate something really quickly. So the limit alerts, let me open that up. So the limit alerts, they let you basically make sure that whatever it is that you have, okay, that you never lose track of it. And you can see things that have already triggered, things that are working, in other words, things that haven't reached your price yet. So here, is an example. I have this one set at 21. Obviously, it gapped down, and there's a huge, long time for it to fill. So these are some of the ones that I've been scouting. And by the way, when something looks bad, here's another thing. You can right-click and just delete it. That's it. Now it's not that relevant, but I can zoom in, and so I'm going to change this one because this stock does move. Okay, so let's look at right here. Okay, we gap down, and it's the same. These are all days. It's the same micro pattern. We came up here, tried to pull back, and now we're making another move, and that other move is going to be like right around here, 1751. Okay, at 1751. This stock at FLO is going to be filling the void, okay? So what that means is, filling the void means this. When there's a big difference between a gap, it gaps down a lot, there's a lot of panic and volatility, and all these people that are long are very upset, and these guys maybe that have, or these people that are short right here, who took the other side of the bet, are very happy. But things start to change as it starts to go up. The guys that are short starting to get upset, and they might want to start taking some of their profits. So the void is, there's a lot of profits locked in on the short side. If it starts to get out of here and move through it, it's going to be filling the void, and you want to be in that. So we just marked it. There's nothing for you to do. I got this for you. So everything that I'm doing here, for all the subscribers who have access to our higher level functionality, this will be yours. I'm right now doing your homework. Okay, so let's move on to some of the stuff that I think is like some of the more amazing setups that are taking place. So I've got a couple of different top lists here, and you can see that I'm going to move the limit alerts down a little bit, and I'm showing you too that you can quickly know what it is that you're buying, not just only in terms of price action, but you can really quickly see what's going on with the whole stock. What's the market cap? Is there revenue? Is there, like, for example, here, market cap, the multiple is revenue. So Flowers Foods basically trades at revenue multiples. Okay, again, not that matters, but you can quickly see things. And they've had earnings 14 days ago. So that's the other thing. We're going to be very, very, we're going to know exactly when the earnings are. I'm going to move that in right here. Let me just adjust this real quick so I can fit a little bit more on the screen. There we go. And let's start getting excited. So look at this, XXII, okay? And by the way, do not fear if you think that, you're like, oh, wait a minute, 339,000, that's not a lot of volume. Forget everything you know about volume, okay? When you're an individual investor and you're buying 2, 3, 5, in this case even 1,000 shares, a stock can trade 100,000, you can trade around it just fine, okay? So this stock is starting to move, and what's interesting about it, why I'm bringing it up, is that all of these have pretty significant quarterly revenue growth, okay? So okay. So also, look at the industry. Once again, this is an interesting industry because this is smoking, and especially quitting smoking is a gigantic business. So this is, I think, what this whole thing is about. And the idea is that, there is some meaningful upside even to here. We're talking about when you look back, okay, and here you're talking about a year ago, 3, 4, and this is 1. It's about the percentages, right? 100% possibly is what we could be looking at. So what I want to do is I want to give it a little bit of room, and I'm going to set my limit alert to really kind of get excited about this move right here. Okay, I'm going to say I am getting excited. I'm going to save it, and here it is. Okay, so I'm going to There's nothing else for me to do. Let's look at the next one. Giron. Another one that had an amazing move today. You have to really be watching that one. Okay? And look at what this looks like on the longer term graph. Look at this move. Now, what you're going to find is, first of all, you should be aware that the biotechs have been obliterated. And as Warren Buffett says, not that, again, I'm like a worshiper or anything, but sometimes you should be buying when there's blood on the street. And right now, there's blood on the street in a lot of different ways. The hedge funds are getting killed. Everyone's, people that are not flexible, people that can't get out, they're hurting. But you're at the right place at the right time. And that's why I want to make sure that all of you have the opportunity to take advantage of what's happening in this market. Because again, the run that seems like is coming, especially if you saw what the futures are doing. I mean, it looks like we could rip. And you want to be positioned in the ones that really have potential to go 100, 200, 300%. Don't settle for 10 or 15 annually when sometimes you can make 1,000. And if you don't believe me, just look up Dell Computer's returns. I've said this on my previous webinar. Dell Computer returned something close to 35,000% from 1993 to 1999. Okay, in 6 years, 35,000%. And that's like a major blue chip stock, okay? So I'm gonna, like I said, you guys who are subscribers and who have access to our higher level functions, you don't need to worry about asking me to put the links and everything else. This is all part of the process. Everything I'm doing here for you, you will have access to. So the same thing with Gurn, you can probably kind of look at your eyes and say, if it gets above this level, this looks like a really good time to go. So I'm going to make it a whole number. In fact, I want to see, well, actually, let me see this real quick. I'm going to say 285, approaching the whole number. And I'm going to make a note. Okay. And here we are. So what I'm saying is here it's approaching 3. And when it pulls back a little bit, I still got this bullishness and I can easily get out. So let's move on. The next one, KERX. Again, you might think that you have missed it. Okay, and this is a very common fallacy of individual investors because it's like, well, it's like how it's ego, right? You want to be buying it right here. All of us want that. I want, guys, I got this tick, or I bought it right here. But the truth of it is, the market's not like that, and neither is life. You kind of have to understand that in the grand scheme of things, if you're long at 485 and you're moving to 8, you're still doing amazingly well. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is the same thing. I'm going to say, look, create an alert, but not at 509. I'm going to say at 490. Whoops. And I'm going to say, I didn't miss it. Could be a big runner. Okay. And do you guys, I hope you guys like them. When you appreciate the alert visually, you can really kind of see what's behind it, so that hopefully when you see it on your screens, it makes sense. So remember, guys, the things that we are showing you here, this is about making money. If you're not a Trade Idea subscriber, just take notes, write the symbols. But, Scott, I'm going to make one funny interlude. I was talking to somebody who, by the way, signed up and bought everything. And our customer, it was really funny. He first started kind of a little bit aggressive and was telling me, how do I know this works, and all this kind of stuff. And I started to kind of tell him, a personal story. I said, I personally pay like $15,000 a year for my kids' kindergarten, private school. $15,000 a year for private school, and they're teaching, my kid to, you know, to eat an apple and, count 1 + 1. I mean, it's great stuff, but you have to put everything into perspective. We are providing technology that could potentially alter your life. So, the prices that you're going to be paying for our stuff is should be ridiculous. So, NO, and watch me again as INO. As I zoom out, you start to kind of hopefully see that there's much bigger place here than simply the day trade. So I'm going to go to right click, and you can see in our charts, you can mark things up. So I'm going to make a trend line, and I'm going to kind of show you that you can go far back in time. Okay, and look at this. I mean, here we're talking about February of 2014, and we are in March of 2016. Okay, and what I want to see is right here. In fact, like just right there. And I'm going to write turned bullish 2-year trend broken. So here's my alert. So this trend line will be broken for me completely right here. Okay, even though it's a little bit here, but I'm giving it a little more room. I mean, you guys can modify it once you get it. But what I really want you to see is, once you kind of zoom back out to kind of the way we all look at it, here's September. I mean, this is roughly when I look at it, you can't quite see the big picture. In fact, here, if you're just looking at this perspective, you kind of feel like, oh my God, resistance here. Why would I be getting in? This isn't going anywhere. And again, that could be the case. But the market looks to us and to our AI like it is setting up to just really reward those who are in the right place at the right time. So, like I said, as we keep going, I will provide you all the cloud links and everything else. Notice too the hidden gems. A lot of them are biotechs right now, right? Because they're starting to turn around. And by the way, I mean, if you can catch the biotech move up, goodness gracious, what are you going to get? I mean, what if you guys are in from 15 to 35? Look at the bigger picture, 50. This is why we hunt. This is why we are here at Trade Ideas. This is what it's for, okay? So now I'm going to look at, well, when do I want to get in here, right? And for me, this is, I really like this, and I'm going to be getting in like right over here, just above that hump. I'm going to say above the hump. Very good long term. So one of the other things that I'm showing you is how when I work with this, like I'm freestyling. Like I try not to, like the more crap you have on your chart, the worse it is for you. And hopefully that's what you can see, me doing. And I'm very good at what I do. I mean, this is why I'm the CEO and why we run this company and how we make this technology. It all ultimately came from originally what would have helped me become better. So here again, it went up, came right back, and I'm watching it go. If I watch this go right through again, I'm getting long. Okay, let's look at something else. AXDX. So sometimes, you talk about, hey, I don't want to miss it. Well, here you go. Okay, here you go. I don't want to miss it. I also don't want to miss it either. So I'm going to set an alert like right. So look, you can see it on the daily right here. This is a good one. And again, in tight range could explode higher. And again, everything is here. Boom. Now we have it. And this is why I was saying that hopefully now you guys are seeing this is what I'm talking about where I'm doing your homework. Again, the same thing. This is our pattern recognition engine already. Everything has been set up. It's been run through the numbers. I'm just putting in the prices that make sense for the real entry. Let's see. Oh, of course. Look, after hours, somebody beat me to it. It gapped up after hours. So let me put it a little bit higher. We'll see where it opens. I'm going to say gapped up after hours, hopefully can get in. Oh, okay, so right here we are. Let's keep going. So again, just want to, so you guys can see that we don't focus on one sector or anything. It's the setup. Okay, it's the setup, and you can quickly see what's going on. There's a lot of reasons why our AI is bringing this up to our attention. You know, some revenues. That's always good to know. Small float. This stock has earnings in 6 days. Okay, so something to keep an eye on. Okay, so let's take a look. I would say again right here, watch for earnings move as they report in 6 days. One of the things I love is like doing homework like this. I mean, to me, like I just feel so comfortable. And again, Pete was asking about volume, and I'll cover some of that. Guys, individual investors have been really given a bunch of bad set of goods. You know, the whole volume thing, we are not institutions, we are not hedge funds. A guy or an investor, a human being who is actively managing or actively engaging in their own portfolio, you can trade stocks that trade 50,000 shares, 20,000 shares. That's where opportunities exist. I mean, that's not all that we do, but certainly 274,000 shares being traded when you are buying, let's say, 1,000. It's just not a problem. And again, remember the beauty of what we do, and this is something that I'm going to be saying on Shark Tank, so you guys should watch it. The beauty of what we do is we can get out. What we're doing here is we're okay, except instead of buying, you know, some startup that's never going to make any money and hoping 1 in 100 work out, we've got Trade Ideas Big Data, RAI, and we've got this kind of workflow that helps us be just way more efficient than anyone else. Okay, so let's keep going. Some of the things that I've really been keeping an eye on. Okay, so here's another one. I've already set an alert for Fitbit, and I think, look, you don't need to worry about what the company does or all that macro kind of fundamental stuff. This, if you're still holding it from 40 and it's here, well then you're insane. And that's the problem with the way people are taught to invest. I mean, you can't do that. You always have to manage your money properly. But let's exploit opportunities. You know, there was a lot of opportunity from 16 to 19 here. There was a lot of opportunity from 13 to 17 here. And there was opportunity on the downside. I mean, if you are aggressive and play that. But here, I mean, you're almost looking like they're basically saying that this thing is dead. And the truth of the matter, it's on the hidden gems list. I mean, they make money. And again, and they've had earnings already 6 days ago, so you kind of passed that, okay? If the market starts to go, Fitbit looks really good. And I'm going to put a limit alert right here saying it is not dead. Okay, so this is the one that I have, and I have another one here. This is one where I was really looking for the breakout. Okay, but on earnings, this is what happens. So you can kind of see there are two levels. What I actually see, and Barry, I think, will appreciate this, is you could kind of have like, so if Fitbit starts to go, and please take a look, let me show you something here. Where is that? Here, short float, 85%. It's not going to take a lot to get Fitbit to just scream up. And then you've got a couple little things. There's this gap, which it's sort of starting to fill, but it could easily start to fill this one. So that's why I've got the limit alert and getting us in right here. Listen, if we're wrong, I mean, there's no risk here. Okay, You can get out here, you can get out here, just a question of how many shares you have. But if this thing starts to go, the shorts could cover. This is your telltale sign right here, okay? And like I said, you want to be in position to possibly, again, some of these move reversals, we're talking about hundreds of percent. 24, this thing is basically, you made 100%. This is what your 100% looks like. You're in the middle of this red candle, which would still in the long term would think like, man, this could really continue higher. Again, based on what the market looks like. So that's my alert. Remember, we're only getting in if it crosses those the lines. So that's what we're doing. Let me see here. Let's move on. So yeah, ADAP, again, it's trying, and for me, the level would be just above here. And remember, these low floaters, 38 million, nice quarterly revenue growth. There's no reason not to try. So Richard, again, I'll just touch base on Richard's question. Richard, you don't need to worry about those reasons, okay, because they've been already discounted. Of course, it may never see 30 again, but that's not. But we speculate that it will, and if we're wrong, we get out. That's the whole point. What we do at Trade Ideas, we're not about being right. We're about being at the right place at the right time, over and over and over again. Okay, and by the way, if Fitbit never sees 30, that's fine, as long as it sees 24, which is 100% for me. So we're all good. Let's put our limit alert right here. All of this is pre-screened. I mean, that's the whole reason why you're at this webinar. Whoops. Starting to move. I'm going to save it. And here it is. Okay, again, you can see that this move is continuing. Okay, so now I'm going to move on. So we kind of covered a lot of these, and I think there's, again, huge potential in that list. Now I'm going to move on to the next list. Pete, there's no such thing as swing trades. There's just trades. No, don't put any, again, the American individual investor has been sold terrible slate of goods. There's no such thing as day trading, and there's no such thing as swing trading. Okay, none of those things really exist. You want to be in a stock based on how it's performing for you. Okay, if you're up in a trade and if you can afford to be in that trade longer, the only things that should keep you out is your personal risk profile and how much money you have under management, or your own management is what I'm saying. How much money are you trading? Is your account 5,000 or is it 500,000? Those are the things that matter. You do not have to necessarily exit a position. In fact, what I'm going to bring up right now is something that we have talked about at Trade Ideas so many times, and I think it was one of our trades of the week. But look at, or it was definitely one that I had brought up in the room. And by the way, for all of you that don't know, so Trade Ideas, like I said, we have a community, and this community is free. And Scott, I hope you or Barry post the link to join the community, sign up so that you can watch Barry and myself and the other people who use this technology in our trading room. So I had set up an alert for ZIOP right here at 8:12, just like exactly what I've been doing here for you. I did it a little while back, okay? And literally, as once I've hit this, it kind of consolidated a little bit, but look at this run on the percentage basis. I mean, this was one of my better trades that I'm actually still in. And that's the whole point. Like, if it's running, why do you need to get out? In fact, this is one of my favorite types of moves, okay? And this is what we want to see in Fitbit and in every single other one of these things that I'm presenting for you. This is the hunt. You want to be from here to here is 100%. But look at the longer term potential. So this is what I want your eyes to open to. Okay, this is what I want you to be able to see. And once again, as I said, all of this is being done for you. So let's start with our kind of like the last. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over most of these, and then I'm going to answer your questions. And I think, again, I'm giving you so much good information. Again, whether you're a subscriber or whether you're just looking. Hopefully, if you're looking, you're jotting these names down. That's what this webinar is for. So let's look at LSB Industries. I can only say that when I look at this, just warmth comes over me. I love this kind of movement. You know, this is the exact kind of movement that we are hunting. Okay. See, like, well, the funny thing is, like, when you zoom in, I mean, it gives you just like a little bit of perspective. Notice here, right? And this is the beauty of the viewpoint and why it's so important to have really smart analytics like trade ideas behind you. The human eyes are terrible because what your ego is going to tell you here is what? I missed it. And you're going to forget about it and you're going to ignore it. But the truth of it is there's nothing to miss. You're right in the middle of it. So let's put on an alert at 9:30. And I'm going to call this out of consolidation, open my eyes. This is a note for you guys, okay? Because again, watch me zoom out. Look at the potential. I mean, once you zoom out, you really start to see a completely different picture. Look at this long base, and this is starting to really go. I mean, it's very possible it'll pull back, and I hope it does, because that looks like it just gives you a better opportunity to get in. But let's assume that it continues. You know, no reason why, because look, this is again, so Barry in the room, I mean, he's discussed this multiple times, and we talk about the void. Okay, sometimes the void is not necessarily a void that is simply a gap down. Sometimes it's a tradable void where it's the people are just completely panicked. Okay, and this is some of what you're seeing. And our whole point is here: we are the speculators that come in from, and we take the alpha from the panickers. Okay, and so this trend from 5 to 10, this is an amazing trend. So you want to keep an eye on this both for a potential. It's like sometimes look at this here, like when the stock is over here, right, at like let's say 1366. You're like, well, I've missed this down move. Did you now? You know, did you now? From 13 to 4, and that's what we want to really convey here. Is that there's so many opportunities, and you just have to kind of be relaxed and keep your eyes on the ball. So that was LBI. Now, hold on one second. Let's go to the next one. So DNR, Denbury Resources. So again, petroleum's kind of trying to eke its way back, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit and give you a little bit more of a perspective. I mean, the oil industry has been obliterated. And if they, you know, and they had earnings 8 days ago. And the idea is that you don't need to be a genius. You just need to kind of catch the right set. And the market seems to be setting itself up for that right set. By the way, it looked that way here. And look at the move from 2 to 463. I mean, nothing wrong with being here and taking some profits. We're in a position to try that again. Same thing from here to here. I mean, you want to potentially be in all of that. Those are all kind of trend change movements that we're trying to catch. They don't always work, right? But what I really love about this one is that you had this bottom right here. It started to move higher, traced back, maintained the support, and now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, this is a very solid move higher. So let's add another approaching the whole number moniker. So here it is. Your limit is set. You do not have to do anything. Your friendly neighborhood CEO is handling it for you. Again, bio, ADXS. This one is one that, you know, was so hot earlier. I mean, I want to talk about why I want you to notice this. subscribers, non-subscribers. This thing was a monster that went from 2 to 30, back down to 5, and here it starts again. What if, ask yourself, this it goes. I would say you definitely don't want to be missing it. Okay, right click, create alert. I'm literally saying I don't want to miss this one in any way, shape, or form. Okay, set, you can see it. Okay, so next one, Pete, CLF, love it. Okay, love it. What I love about this move, again, and this hopefully you can see this continuous theme. Don't look at the company. Don't worry about that stuff. That's for analysts. We are surfers to an extent, market surfers, and using analytics as our surfboard and as our guide. So this is a gigantic downtrend that has been taking place since 2014. Okay, it's come down. I mean, huge volatility, huge moves. But this, arguably speaking, if you watch, here's what I'm going to point out about Cliffs and why I love it. If you point out like this area right here, okay, from December to right here is one of the more stable parts of it. You know, especially this right here, from January through here, you're talking about over 100% up move from the bottom and on increased volume too. So you have to like it, and you can't worry about missing the move. Okay, so what I would say here is, again, like right around 3. In fact, maybe on this one, I'm going to ask for a little more. I'm going to say 305. I want it to cross the whole number. So I'm going to say crossed the whole number with momentum. So part of the thing is that, again, and I'm going to zoom out on this one for Pete. So forming bases is really, it's a behavior, okay? And so what our computer does is it looks at like, well, was this a base? No, this was trying to be a V bottom, ran up, a lot of volatility. Again, bases are all relative to how you look at them, okay? Is this a base? Is this a base? But this looks like one of the better ones in terms of without the huge volatility, just kind of a nice, relatively smooth trend. And especially if you zoom out farther, right? And again, this is what I was saying. You can do a lot of things from different visual points of views. So if you zoom out farther, okay, like to where I'm doing now, this is like you're really seeing, you're almost at the airplane, right? But what you can see is this base right here, this one, is one of the longer volatility kind of less bases. So that's why, and you always have to pay attention to this type of move. That's why we're putting it in, and this is the trigger. And again, remember guys, this is just one of them. So this is not the only one. We've got a lot of stuff that we're covering. There's a lot of things going on that have some similar action happening, and we're trying to put you in the position to catch it. WNT, what I want to see here, again, I'm going to put a limit right here at 85. And I'll tell you what I like about it. Going through the other range. So what I think is going to be happening here, if it breaks through here, it's going to try to tackle this range. You see, there's a range right here, okay? And that's what I like to see, because again, if you can go from 280 to 4 to test this, I mean, that's a huge percentage retracement. So let me we'll go through a couple more, and then I'll really just finish focusing on the questions. AMRC, huge move, again, you just have to have this on your radar. You know, whenever you see something like this, you must have it on your radar. Also, again, remember what I was talking about, is that you might think that you've missed it, right? And again, it could easily pull back. But I'm going to zoom out real quick, and I'm going to show you something really interesting. And again, I do this all the time. So here's a trend line. And again, this is an exercise that I do frequently. So the real break of this trend line going from 2014 is right here, you know. But we can do another one though, kind of get a little smaller. And I'm going to move this up to this area. And now look at this downtrend, right? So this downtrend, even though this move is huge, the break is happening right here. So I'm going to put the limit over right there and say trend line broken. So now you got it. You got the cross. So let's see. Another one on the biotech that I love because of the base. Okay, really a good one, and this might be the one I end on. Okay, so remember right here, this is the problem with viewpoints and that I've discussed. Right here, this doesn't look like anything interesting. In fact, again, you're like, I already missed it, right? But watch what happens when when you see the point of view from a slightly different take. So what I want to do is I think it's going to try to break this 20. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say limit me at like 1875. Okay, so another, whoops. Because investing and making a lot of money is not about being right. It's about being at the right place at the right time. I mean, we've talked a lot of different ways that you can make money, and that's the beauty of the stock market. You know, you can't, like Barry Anderson, who's one of the best active investors I've ever met. You know, day in and day out in our room, Barry is extracting money, and he is taking his money because he has honed that skill, and that's what he is good at. You can be a short seller where you're just looking for these opportunities, and while everyone's bullish, you know, you're riding this wave from 80 to, my gosh, I mean, if you've got the stomach, to 15. But of course, everyone should realize that the market is slightly rigged to go up. Pension funds, hedge funds, you know, retirement funds, they have to put their money to work. And the market has been getting killed lately. And again, we do not see the AI, and the business does not see the kind of 2008, 2009 problems underneath. We see incredible opportunity as we see the market is going to start to change and go back to these levels. Okay, I mean, again, imagine riding from 18 to 30. You feel like a genius, and here's the void, right? When this thing, look at this thing when it tried to fill the void, and this is what we're talking about. So if it tried to fill it, then just got pressure from the rest of the market. If it does it again, there could be just hyper buying here. And once again, a $13 million float, very, very small, short 41%, very good for covering opportunities. So it's like we want to put a lot of things into this setup that are beyond just like fundamentals. It's like the covering, the short float. There's like a profile, like I said, like a FBI serial killer profiler. That's what we look at to find the moves. Okay, and again, they're in the right, you know, they're in the right marketplace, because this is the biotech space has had an incredible run. It has incredible potential, and it looks like it's going to be turning around. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of go over everything. Fuel cell was our trade of the week for this week. we really like what it's doing, and I set up another alert for it because it looks like it could be challenging here. I mean, think about it. From 6 to 7 is huge. Forget, going over here. From 6 to 7 is still huge, and that's what it looks like it wants to do. I have covered, a pretty large swath of market opportunities for everybody. Okay, here's another one, Eclipse Resources. I mean, just talking about the same thing right here. One more for the road. I'm going to call this one more for the road from webinar. If it starts going through here, this is a move you're going to want to be in. Okay. So, a couple of things. What makes this all very special is I am able to share all of this with you with one click. I can right-click and give everybody a link, and you have all of this functionality in front of you, and basically I've just done all your homework. A lot of our customers are now sharing information this way. This way, more eyes are on the better trades. Okay. This is the best way. This is the best way, in my opinion, that you can really extract alpha out of the market. And if if our prices, how much, what Scott's going to show you, the fees for our software are scary for you, then again, then this might not be the right thing for you to do. But I would love to give you the opportunity to make money for our subscriptions without paying us anything through these webinars. That's why we have them. Scott and Barry will post a link for everyone to be able to join the trading room, where Barry is our executive leader of all things risk related. Everyone's got that information. There's handouts on all the things that we did here. Scott, I kind of ran through everything at once because I kind of felt like I was in a flow. I wanted everyone to see all these incredible opportunities that are setting up. A couple of things before we go. Something that I've been talking about since I'm snowboarding right now, just so everybody knows, I'm snowboarding. The other stock that I completely love, and I think the analysts have totally wrong, is GoPro. And it's gonna, I'm telling you, this thing's gonna rip. I'm gonna put a limit over it right here at 1366. I'm already in it. About to rip your face. That's how I say, you really got to get it. There's so many things that are setting up for this. Number one, again, huge short position. Okay, 43%. They're making money. They don't have a huge float. Earnings are behind them. And everything that you could beat out of a stock has been beaten out of GoPro. Okay. And I'm on the mountain, and listen, there's nobody else out here. Everybody on the mountain, everybody on the sand, everybody in the water has a GoPro. They've got a brand monopoly. And I think the guys at Citron completely missed that totally. They think that, somebody with Apple comes out with something and it'll be instantly replaceable. No. These guys, there's loyalty here. So I want to make sure that you guys have this alert, one of my favorite stocks right now. And the last one that I think is kind of in the same place is Twitter. It's really setting up. People are saying it's dying, but I don't think so. And again, I would look for it right here, 1927. That means it's really starting to go. So, and last but not least, Scott, hold on. And last but not least is Solar City. And I already have the alert for it right here. This is what, the 2287. I mean, huge volatility, but huge potential. All right, I'm handing the floor over to Scott, who is going to share the rest of the presentation with you. Scott, are you ready?
Well, yeah, you got the right slide up. So we're a software as a service company, and our primary service is subscription-based. So it's a $99 subscription that includes everything, including all the exchange data in real time, your TI Pro charting, and very importantly, a full hour of one-on-one instruction. So the best thing you should do It's screen shared instruction. So as soon as you sign up for Trade Ideas, go directly to the support area, click on training, and then go to that calendar and pick your preferred time and date and trainer and get right into it. It's the best way to get the head start. The annual subscription saves you a bundle off the monthly subscription, and both subscriptions are no contract, automatically renewing. You cancel at any time. To get the AI and the limit alerts requires the AI strategy and odds maker license, which is a one-time $1,100 purchase. That's yours for life as long as you have an active Trade Ideas subscription. You also have full access to our backtesting technology, Holly the AI, limit alerts, and other high functions that we'll be developing. Now the backtesting module lets you go ahead and backtest your own strategies in the market with no programming. You're basically able to do what Holly does, except manually through our tools. It also lets you use the AI Holly, so you can find trades that are performing in the market right now. And again, it's just super sophisticated software. The next slide, we have a thing to thank you for attending the webinar, and that's a product code for a discount. I'd also want to draw your attention to your GoToWebinar panel, to your interface. There is a handouts panel within that, a subsection of your GoToWebinar interface. And there's a PDF right there that will contain this information as well. So you can click on it, download it, and it will be a reminder to go ahead and do this before Friday, because that code Holly2, and it is case sensitive, it's capital HOLLY 2, lets you save half off your first month. So you can get that for just $49, no contract. It renews at $99 a month. You can get in for a year at $710. That's a great upgrade. If you're already on the $99 a month, upgrade to the yearly, save a bundle, and also just get it for $710. That's 20% off. It renews at $888, and you're locked into that $888 rate. Oddsmaker AI, it takes 30% off of that, so you can get the AI license for just $770, and that's for life. And another thing we can do is package it together. So on the next page, there's a link. It's bit.ly/AI Holly, all caps. And if you plug that same code into the landing page that you click through from that link, you can save $508 immediately. That takes the total from $1988 down to $1480. It saves you a bundle, and you get the full year of Trade Ideas discounted by 20%. You get the lifetime AI and oddsmaker license discounted by 30% for a total of $1480. It's an amazing deal. Again, you go to bit.ly/AI Holly, all caps. It is case sensitive. That's it. I want to thank you guys for spending your evening with us. Thanks, everybody. There will be a recording of this posted on our YouTube channel. You all will get an email with a link to that tonight or by tomorrow morning at least. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dan, for the great presentation. Any questions at all, email us, info@trade-ideas.com. Happy to answer any of your questions. You can reach Dan directly, dan@trade-ideas.com. But if there are any windows or scans Dan showed tonight and you want to add those to your Trade Ideas account, best thing to do is to email the info@ for the support, and we'll go ahead and add that scan to your account. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro. We post some things on Facebook. We sometimes don't post anywhere else. Same thing for Twitter. There's some unique content on Twitter, so follow Dan. He's Trade Ideas 1, and our Trade Ideas account is Trade Ideas. That also has some really good content. You can call us during regular business hours on the West Coast of the United States. We can get back to you that way. But the best place to contact support is the info@trade-ideas.com. That goes directly into our support management software and gets routed to the appropriate Trade Ideas team member. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Dan, for the great presentation. I hope we see everybody in our next webinar as well. We have one tomorrow. It's Jamie's Trading Studio, excuse me. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern, and you should have received an email if you're on our contact list already. All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you. I'm snowboarding, so I really appreciate being able to do this with you guys while from vacation. And follow me on Twitter if you want to see crazy links and all sorts of stuff. It's not fun if you're not having fun. So thank you all, and I really appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yep. Cheers.